Godspeed and party on.
How much better have you felt just the positivity with your new training camp?
It's good, man. It's good to be finally, after 8 years, to never have to travel and, just stay at home and do my training right here in Fresno. So, there's a lot of positive people around, so it's good, man. I'm in a great place, and I can't wait to fight May 5th and show that, I made the right decision and had the right training partners and the right coaches.
Do you feel like that fresh start is really going to make a big difference going forward? I know you mentioned, you're actually, the last fight it was almost mechanical. This fight, do you feel really excited? The rejuvenation, I guess, is the best word for it, as you go through this training camp, and are you excited again?
Well, I feel like that my career might have just got a little bit longer than what it was going to have. I feel like I just added 2 more years to my career because of, being able to not travel to train is a good thing. So, it's a blessing.
Yeah. And a question for Nate. When you were at lightweight before, I know you had a couple fights, Clay Guida, Joe Stevenson, where the guys were, trying to take you down, hold you down. I know, wrestling has been a big part of that. We know Jim comes from a wrestling background as well. What's the biggest difference of the Nate Diaz now versus the Nate Diaz that fought those guys a couple of years ago?
I think a lot of those fights were experience, stuff I had to learn, and maybe I already knew some of the stuff I should have done, but I didn't do them. So I've been working since then. We'll see what happens.
And one question for Johnny. Johnny, part of this new deal with Fox has been a lot more opportunities for the guys to do different things, different sponsorships, things like that. I know you recently had a chance to do some stuff with NASCAR, riding in the NASCAR and doing some stuff like that. How cool was that experience for you and the opportunity to kind of branch out and do some different things as part of this whole, the chance to get to fight on Fox and actually ride in a NASCAR?
It's amazing. I mean, I watch them every weekend, you know what I'm saying? And finally actually get to meet them person to person and get to feel what they go through. You come back with a totally different experience. People think it's just going around in circles, but it's physically demanding on your body. And, going through those corners and the awareness and the mental stage that you have to have for 3 hours to do something like that is amazing. You know what I'm saying? So for me to be able to finally get to do something like that is awesome. And I'm so grateful that, UFC is on Fox. So now, one day maybe people will come train with me because I was like Tony, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Thanks a lot, guys.
We'll take our next question from Ariel Helwani of Fuel TV.
Hey guys, first question is for Johnny and Josh. I guess I'll start with Johnny. The New Jersey Commission announced today that one of the judges in your fight will be a former UFC fighter, Ricardo Almeida. And considering the judging issue has been such a big one over the past couple of years in MMA, I'm wondering, do you like the fact that a guy that was just recently in the UFC, do you like the fact that he's judging your fight, or do you have any reservations maybe because, he's so close to the time that you guys fought and he had issues with training partners, et cetera, et cetera? I'll start with you, Johnny.
No, I think that's cool, you know what I'm saying? Because he's going to know a little bit more about the sport. And he'll know what positions really mean, and he'll know what a strike actually lands, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what we need is some people like that stepping in there and start doing that kind of stuff. Because they know what it's like to jump in the cage. They know what it's like to do all this stuff. And I think he'll be a great judge.
How about you, Josh?
Yeah, I think it's good for the sport, It gets a perspective of, of a fighter, someone who's been in the octagon and knows jiu-jitsu and knows wrestling and understands the sport. And I think that, as this sport grows, we're going to see more ex-UFC fighters become judges. So I think it's a good start.
All right, thanks. And a couple questions for Jim. It seems like and I know Ryan said at the top that Dana hasn't confirmed that the winner of this fight will be the number one contender, but it seems like from what everyone is saying, Nate gets the title shot. Nate wins, he'll get a title shot, but it's kind of a situation like we've seen in the past where one guy's fighting for it and we're not quite sure about the other, sort of like Rashad and Phil Davis. Do you think that you deserve to get a title shot if you win this fight, considering the fact that you're 1-1 in your last 2 fights?
It all, really depends on how the fight goes, I guess. And I'm not on it at all. I'm just focused on our fight, and whatever happens after that is no concern to me right now. But if I can win impressively, then really, who else are they going to put in there? Like I said, I'm not even focused on it. It's really the last thing on my mind right now. I'm just focused on fighting Nate and getting the win.
And if you can you give us an update on how your nephew is feeling?
He's been doing all right. Kind of, acting like himself again and feeling a little bit better. He's supposed to be coming back home pretty soon now. He's still down in Philadelphia at the Children's Hospital down there. So hopefully he'll be back home soon, and they can get the transplant finally scheduled and everything kind of out of the way. He's been just a tough little kid. Wish I was
still waiting.
Sorry? I wish I was half as tough as he is.
Absolutely, and he's still waiting for the transplant, though, right? You don't know when that's going to happen?
Yeah, no, it was originally scheduled for, I believe, January 25th, and he had some complications, and they ended up postponing it. He had an infection for a really long time. He had C. diff, and finally got rid of it. So now it's just they actually have to run the test again for on him and the donor to see if there's still compatibility. But it seems like they've been making some decent headway with his health issues. So hopefully by the end of the summer he'll have to transplant.
Okay, and just one last one for Nate. Nate, when you look at your career and how well you've done as a lightweight in the UFC, and then, of course, your run as a welterweight didn't go as planned, do you kind of regret that you had that sort of run at 170? Maybe you'd already be fighting for a title or be the champion at 155?
I don't know. I think there's a lot of obstacles I had to take lately, and that was one of them, and I didn't plan on, leaving there. I just left there if I was going to fight guys. I left the welterweight division if I was going to fight guys who nobody knew. When I was fighting at lightweight, I was fighting top contenders like Gallard and Guida, so that's why I came back.
What kind of obstacles? You said you were facing some obstacles.
Well, they were just putting me against tough fights with guys who didn't have big names, like Don Kim and Roy McDonald at the time, so it's kind of rough. So I was like, if I'm going to be fighting people with names at lightweight, I might as well go back there instead of jumping all over the place, getting digged around a little bit.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And we will take our next question from Matthew Roth of Bleacher Report.
Thank you. Guys, the question I have is for Jim and Nate. Nate, your brother, he had his MMA career before you started. What was it like growing up with a fighter who was a professional, as a fighter with a brother who was in the UFC?
I don't know. It all kind of just happened. I kind of started fighting right after him, so it was just, I don't know. It's just what happened, I guess.
All right. And Jim, you're one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. Is it something where you put in your mind that you want to steal the show, so to speak, and put on a great performance every single time, or is it just happens naturally?
Oh, thank you for the compliment. I just try to go out and fight and do the things that I'm good at. And I know if I'm satisfied and I'm excited about how a fight went, then 95% of the people out there are going to be excited about it. So I just try to go and fight, and I guess fortunately I'm a little bit reckless at times, and sometimes it works out for me in fights. I just do what I'm good at, and like I said, luckily there's a good amount of fans that enjoy my fights.
All right, thank you, and good luck next week, guys.
Thank you.
we will go next to John Houston of MMA Hawaii.
Hello.
Your line is open, sir. Please go ahead.
My first question is for Nate. Nate, you can name names if you want. Who we brought in and to help promote to Cedar Grace to help you out with your tighten up your wrestling, and we hope to see you in Hawaii real soon.
I didn't bring too many people in, but people did just start showing up, you know, so it was good. This month, Josh Nair came by. He's really good training. He helped me for a couple fights, and Cody McKenzie's out here. Ronda Rousey came out. Kron Gracie's going to be in tonight. And it's just people at our academy, there's a lot of big names, you know, so it's good that people are coming to train. So a lot of work, a lot of help everywhere from a lot of people. My original, and Jake and Gil and everybody's down here helping out, so.
Thank you very much. And Jim, you already answered the question. I just wanted to thank you for updating us on your nephew status. Thank you very much, guys.
And we will go next to Ryan Smith of MMA Meltdown.
Thank you, guys. My first question is for Nate Diaz. It's kind of a follow-up on what Ariel asked. Nate, this is going to be your third fight, dropping back down to 155. Do you feel like this is your more natural weight class compared to 170?
I think both of them are pretty close. I think maybe sometimes I was kind of small for 70, but I could get bigger too. So I don't know. I feel good at 55.
Thank you. My next question is for Jim. Jim, considering Ben Henderson and Frankie Edgar are going to rematch soon, and you have losses to both of them, if you get a title shot, if you beat Nate, do you prefer which one you want to fight again?
No, not really. You know, I'm a different fighter than when I fought each of them. You know, so it really doesn't matter. They're both very talented guys. I have a lot of respect for either one of them. You know, I'm a big fan of Frankie's. I like watching him fight. You know, I'm always rooting for him. So if I'm picking a guy to win, it's him. But fighting-wise, you know, they're both tough fights.
And last question for Nate. You mentioned for UFC 141 that you think Nick's retirement could be for real. Do you think anything's changed with him since then?
No, he's busy right now. He's got a triathlon season. I don't think he's got really interest in fighting right now. No, as of right now, no.
Good luck, folks.
Thanks.
We will take our final question from Ariel Helwani of Fuel TV.
It's a quick one for Josh. Josh, when did you join AKA?
When I first started fighting.
So would this be your first fight as a pro outside, like without AKA in your corner?
No, I still have Bob Cook in my corner. So, you know what I mean? He's always going to be there. So, you know, Bob Cook's been coming down to Fresno and training me a couple of days a week. You know, so always have him. Dave Canelo still, you know, even though he's not affiliated with that place anymore, he still comes down and trains me. And then I have Jasper is still in my corner. So yeah, I got a lot of new faces, but I still have some old faces that are still involved with my training.
You won't be representing AK in this fight, right?
You're joking, right?
Well, the point I'm getting at is this is the first time that you will be fighting not as a member of AK. Is that accurate or is that inaccurate?
I have a new gym that's called Ether and Base Camp. So and that's where I'll be fighting out of from now on.
Okay, thanks.
And that does conclude today's question and answer session. We'll turn the call back to our moderator for any additional or closing remarks.
Godspeed and party on.